It's 6 in the morning. Your alarm hasn't even gone off yet. But something wakes you. A sound. Insistent. Familiar. You open one eye and there he is, your cat, sitting on the nightstand, staring directly at you. Inches from your face. He's not meowing loudly. He's doing something worse. He's purring. That low, constant purr that sounds like a tiny engine. And suddenly, you realize, you're getting up. You're going to fill the food bowl. It's 6 in the morning. You haven't even had coffee. And the cat has already given you your first order of the day. Now here's the question nobody asks, who domesticated whom? Because here's the uncomfortable truth, you think you adopted a cat. But science has a different theory. And it begins 10,000 years ago, in a place you wouldn't expect. Think about it. You grew up hearing that humans domesticated animals. Dogs, cows, horses, pigs. We shaped those species. We chose the most docile, the most useful, and turned them into partners. But the cat? The cat is the only animal that seems to have signed a different contract. Dogs changed hundreds of genes to become our best friends. The wolf became an animal that reads our emotions, seeks our approval, obeys commands. A profound transformation. The cat changed 13 genes. 13. And yet, it's the cat that sleeps in your bed. It's the cat that wakes you at 6 in the morning. It's the cat that knocks the glass off the table, looks you in the eye, and walks away as if nothing happened. So tell me, who really domesticated whom? To understand this, you need to go back 10,000 years. The Fertile Crescent. A region that today would be part of Iraq, Syria, and Egypt. The cradle of civilization. It was there that humans did something revolutionary, they stopped wandering and started planting. And with farming came storage. Grain. Massive piles of grain. Enough food to survive the winter. And the grain attracted something, rats. Mice. Entire rodent populations exploding around the first villages. To ancient humans, this was a disaster. An infestation could destroy a family's entire food supply. But to a small desert hunter, it was paradise. A giant rat factory. And that's how the African wildcat approached. Not because it wanted to be our friend. But because your home had become a buffet. Here's the detail that changes everything. Cats weren't domesticated the way other animals were. With dogs, humans chose. They bred selectively. They controlled reproduction. They shaped the species. With cats, it was the opposite. The wildcats most tolerant of humans simply moved closer. They ate the rats. And humans, in return, let them stay. Nobody chose anything. It was mutual convenience. That's why many scientists believe cats domesticated themselves. They moved closer because it was advantageous. And over thousands of years, they evolved to stay near us, without ever truly depending on us. A 2007 study in the journal Science proved that every domestic cat in the world descends from that same African wildcat. A unique pedigree. But a pedigree the cats chose, not one we imposed. And the oldest proof of this relationship is almost poetic. 9,500 years ago, before the pyramids, before the wheel, someone was buried alongside an 8-month-old cat. On an island called Cyprus. Here's the detail, cats weren't native to Cyprus. Someone brought that cat to the island. By boat. On purpose. Think about that. Nearly 10,000 years ago, a human loved a cat so much that they transported it to an island and were buried beside it. The cat was already a family member. It's just that, back then, the family didn't know it yet. But the cat's true genius isn't in history. It's in behavior. In everyday life. In the way they conquered the world without ever asking permission. Let's talk about the purr. You think purring is a sign of happiness, right? Wrong. In 2009, researchers at the University of Sussex discovered something disturbing. Cats have two types of purr. One is the contentment purr, the one you hear when you pet the cat. The other is the solicitation purr, the one they use when they want food. And the solicitation purr has a special frequency, between 220 and 520 Hz. The same frequency as a human baby's cry. In the ancestral savanna, a crying cub called for its mother. It was a signal of urgency, of need. Your cat figured out that you carry that same instinct hardwired into your brain, and decided to exploit it. It isn't purring out of happiness when it asks for food. It's imitating the sound of a crying baby, because it knows you can't ignore it. It's biology. Your cat figured this out thousands of years ago. And it uses it against you. Every single time. And here's the practical tip: learn to tell the two purrs apart. The contentment purr is soft and steady. The solicitation purr has a slight roughness, almost an embedded cry. When you hear the solicitation purr asking for food outside of mealtime, don't give in right away. Set fixed feeding times. Your cat will learn, and you'll take back control of your alarm clock. And it's not just the purr. It's the meow too. Here's a fact that will change how you see your cat: adult cats, in the wild, almost never meow at each other. The meow is a behavior they developed specifically to communicate with humans. Researchers at Lund University, in Sweden, spent years studying this. And they discovered that cats adapt their meow to the context. They have a meow for food, one for greeting, one for complaining. And they adjust the tone for each human. Your cat isn't just meowing. It's doing sound engineering. It studied you. It learned which sounds work. And it perfected the technique. And this goes way back. The wildcat never needed to meow to survive, it hunted in silence. The meow was born when the cat realized that, near humans, silence wasn't enough. It needed its own language to negotiate with a different species. And it created one. In other words, your cat manipulates you with scientific precision. The practical tip: don't reinforce the meow. If the cat meows and you respond immediately, you're training it to meow more. Wait for silence before responding. Gradually, the cat learns that non-stop meowing doesn't work, and that calm is rewarded. And this strategy worked so well that cats conquered the planet. When the Romans expanded their empire, cats came along. When ships crossed the oceans, cats boarded, not as passengers, but as pest controllers who charged their own fare in rats. About 2,000 years ago, a 2025 study in the journal Science showed that cats spread from North Africa to Europe. And from there, to the entire world. Today, it's estimated there are about 600 million domestic cats on the planet. 600 million. A predator that isn't the strongest, doesn't hunt in packs, and obeys no one, and yet conquered the world. The cat didn't win through strength. It won through strategy. And nowhere was this conquest clearer than in ancient Egypt. The Egyptians didn't just tolerate cats. They worshipped them. The goddess Batet, associated with protection, fertility, and the home, was depicted as a lioness or a domestic cat. Killing a cat was a serious crime. And when archaeologists uncovered Egyptian burial sites, they found something astonishing: millions of mummified cats. An animal that once hid silently in the desert had become spiritually important to one of the most powerful civilizations on Earth. And yet, even then, cats carried themselves as if they owned the place. Because, to them, they always did. And perhaps the most perfect example of the cat-human relationship is that awkward moment every cat owner knows. Your cat brings a dead rat into the house. Or a bird. Or, if you're lucky, a cockroach. And leaves it at your feet, with a look of pride. You think it's a gift. And it is. But science has a more honest reading: the cat is sharing the hunt with you because it thinks you're terrible at it. In the savannah, Cats taught their cubs to hunt by bringing back prey. Your cat does the same thing with you. It saw you. It saw you fail to hunt. And it decided it needs to feed you, because you clearly wouldn't survive on your own. That says a lot more about what the cat thinks of you than anything else. In its mind, you're a big, useless cat that needs help. And it, generously, accepted the job of taking care of you. The practical tip: don't punish this behavior. It's pure instinct. If the cat brings you prey, thank it calmly and remove it discreetly. And channel that hunter instinct with play that mimics prey: wands, balls, feathers. Spend 10 to 15 minutes a day. It satisfies the ancestral instinct and reduces unwanted behavior.
Wow, look at you jump! So high!
So, after 10,000 years of history, genetics, behavior, and global conquest, we return to the question that opens this video: who domesticated whom? The answer, according to science, is stranger than you imagine. Cats weren't domesticated the way dogs were. They approached us out of convenience. And instead of becoming dependent animals, they turned our homes into their territory. Dogs joined humans as partners. Cats joined humans as opportunists. And somewhere along the way, opportunism became companionship. And if you understand that negotiation, what the cat wants, when it wants it, and how it asks, you build a much healthier relationship. Not of owner and animal, but of two beings that, 10,000 years ago, decided to live together. Respect its independence. Create a predictable routine of affection, play, and feeding. A cat that feels secure is a less anxious cat, and less prone to destructive behavior. Remember that cat that woke you at 6 in the morning with its purr? It wasn't being mean. It was using a 10,000-year-old evolutionary tool, perfected to work on exactly your brain. And in a way, that's impressive. A small desert hunter discovered that human civilization was the greatest survival strategy ever created. And it moved in. Without asking permission. Without apologizing. Today, 600 million cats sleep in homes around the world, completely convinced they own the place. And if you stop to think about it, maybe they're right. The cat wasn't domesticated. It domesticated you. And deep down, you know it. Because, if it weren't true, why would you be reading this at 6 in the morning, holding the food bowl?